Some people get absolutely obsessed with an interest, a hobby, something they really enjoy doing, and they sacrifice everything else for it. Well, this man got obsessed with playing golf. He spent every spare moment he could out on the golf course. So much so that in the end, his wife gave him the ultimatum. Either the golf goes or I do. And he didn't like that. That worried him. He didn't want to give up playing golf, but he didn't want to lose his wife either. So what was he going to do? So he thought about it, and then he came up with an idea. His wife had never tried playing golf, and he said to her, well, perhaps if you came out with me, you'd enjoy it too, and it's something we could do together. And so after a bit of persuasion, she agreed to give it a go. And one morning, Tuesday morning or something, when there weren't very many people on the golf course, off they went, and he set out to introduce her to playing golf. And at first, she was hopeless. She couldn't hit the ball at all, and even if she did, it trickled a couple of inches, and that was about it. But after a little while, lots of trying, she gradually got the hang of it, got the knack, and she was getting better and better, and she was able to hit the ball quite reasonably, and it would go in roughly the right direction, not very far yet, but she was getting all right. Now, I don't know much about golf, I've never played, but from what I do know about walking across golf courses mainly, there's usually a course somewhere, a place somewhere on a golf course where it runs alongside a row of houses, and these are usually big, grand, very expensive houses. And they got to that particular point on the course. And she put the ball down and lined it up and hit it. And she connected really, really sweetly. The best hit she'd done so far. And the ball left the club and soared off. But the trouble is, instead of going down the fairway where it was supposed to go, it went off at a right angle and soared over the hedge towards these houses, followed a second or two later by the crash of breaking glass. Their first inclination was to run, but they thought, no, we better go and be grown up and go and see what damage we've done and apologise and try and put it right. So they found a gate in the hedge and went through into this big garden, lovely lawns and flower beds and trees. There was the house up ahead of them, really big, expensive looking house, the great big plate glass window, and in the middle of that window was a golf ball size hole and cracks and splinters radiating out all round it. Oh dear, they thought. And so they went up and they peered through the window into this big sitting room. There were leather armchairs and plush carpet on the floor, paintings on the wall, and laying down just underneath the window, shards of brightly coloured glass. It looked as though it had been a very expensive, probably ancient oriental vase that was standing on the windowsill until the golf ball went through. Now it was shards of broken glass. Also standing in the middle of the room was a rather bemused, sleepy-looking man, as if he'd just been woken up with a shock. And so they went to the door and knocked on the door to apologise and offer to pay for the damage they'd done. But the man would hear nothing of it. No, he said, come in, I'll explain to you. So he invited them in, and they kept on trying to explain. They put the damage right, they'll pay for it. But no, you listen, he said. I'm a genie, and for the last several hundred years, perhaps 800 or 900 years, I don't know, I've been shut up in that expensive oriental vase, and now your golf ball has just smashed it and set me free. So I'm really grateful, and being a genie, I can grant 3 wishes. And as there's 3 of us here, can I suggest that we have 1 wish each? And the couple thought that was fair. So ladies first, and she wished for eternal youth and beauty. And the genie said, oh, that whole thing, I've done that lots of times. Yes, you look in the mirror tomorrow morning and you'll find you've got your wish. So then it was the man's turn, and he wished for a bottomless bank balance. However much I spend is full again the next morning. I've done that one lots of times as well, said the genie. That's no problem. Yeah, you just check your account tomorrow morning. So then it was the genie's turn to wish. And he said, look, I told you that I've been locked up in that glass jar for hundreds and hundreds of years. And in all that time, I haven't been able to as much as look at a woman, let alone be with one. So may I just take the lady upstairs? And the husband and wife looked at each other. They didn't like this idea very much. But then when they thought that what they were getting in return, they said, oh, all right, and gave in. So the genie and the wife disappeared upstairs. And the man sat down in the armchair and turned the telly up loud, so he couldn't hear any noises. And after about an hour, the genie and his wife came downstairs looking hot and bothered and flustered, and they prepared to go. But just before they left, the genie said, before you go, do you mind if I just ask you a simple question? How old are you? And the husband said, oh, it was my birthday last week, I'm 40. My wife's just a few months earlier, a few months younger. Well, says the genie, do you know, I'm absolutely amazed, flabbergasted, that in this day and age, a couple can live to be your age and still believe in genies.